how I felt.
Yeah.
It was, it was really hard to hear all those things, and it's just like, it's.
Doesn't matter where you start at. It only matters where your heart's at. You got a chance, better take that. There's no time just to waste that. See, we only get one shot. Like we only get one life. And even when you get beat down, come back like the sunrise. Cause everybody wanna tell you everything you can't do. They ain't never step foot in your shoes. I'ma tell you, anything you want, you can get it. Chase your dreams like you really can't lose. All you gotta do is get it. Shoot for the stars, don't give it. All you gotta do is stay driven. Focus on the mission. Man, they just lack ambition. But you, I can tell you got a vision. So follow your dream.
Hey, what's up, Auspicious family? Welcome to another Auspicious vlog.
We are doing our autism story part 2.
Yes.
So I think where we left off was we're going to transition into the kindergarten years. So
we're talking about our son, his name is Noah. He's autistic, and we're talking about our whole experiences with him. And if you haven't seen that first part, you ought to go watch that first and then come back and watch this, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so let's start. So we're already kind of talking about the school, how they're already transitioning into school and how they started noticing him being different, and we noticed some things that he was doing different. Like, if you guys seen the clip where he was jumping around, he was very off the walls, yeah. And a lot of people started making comments about Noah, like he needs like medication and stuff like that. And so that's where we're at right now. Now we're gonna go into the testing, actually, right?
Well, let's get to how it started with the testing.
Okay, perfect.
So he's in kindergarten, and it was like maybe the second or third, I would say about the second week. The teacher approached me one morning and she was like, I know that this was brought to your attention last year, and I really think this year you need to do something because I'm seeing this and I'm seeing that, and he's really disruptive. And at this point, they moved him to the back of the classroom because he was disrupting the other students, because he was just bouncing in his chair, or Noah had a habit of tapping on the table like in a rhythm, and just things like that. So they moved him to the back of the classroom. At that point, I just thought that maybe the teachers weren't fond of him. What made me upset was they were like, well, can your dad come? And I'm like, and he's in a private school. Like, he was in a private school, and my dad was going to the class every day to sit with him, to help him with his work, and just stuff like that. During that time period, he was evaluated by a psychologist, and that went on for like 2 weeks. So then we were doing the IEP, and they're just kind of going over everything with the psychologist had seen. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I just didn't want. I remember when even with the psychologist was seeing him, and Ben was telling me, I was just like, "This is dumb. Like, this is stupid. Like, don't listen to him. Like, this is a waste of time, really." And when they started talking to us in the IEP, Pam just couldn't hold back, and she was crying.
It really was. It was rough. It was so rough to hear like everything they were saying. She was like, be in special education, and when you hear special education, like you don't, like, just a lot of things like run through your mind, because you're like, special education, like what? Like,
that's what I was gonna say. When I heard special education, I immediately thought about all the kids that I saw in my high school days, and that were picked on.
Yeah, that were, and I'm like, wait a minute, like what? Like this can't be like right. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, and I remember asking them, I said, well, can he still come to the school, but then do like an after school program over there? And they were like, no, he has to go over there. And a really big part of me just wanted him to have some normalcy. Like, just stay in that school, stay with his friends. That'll be normal. I'll feel normal. You know, I'll feel like this whole thing is normal. Just kind of like put ourselves in a bubble. And that's how I felt.
Yeah.
It was, you know, it was really hard to hear all those things. And it's just like, it's not what you expect to hear when you plan to have kids. Like, you know, you expect them to be able to play baseball, to play soccer, you know, to have like these normalcies like I had, like you had, like, you know, like you had in school, like, so there was like literally a bus had hit me, and like I just remember that they told me, do you want to stop? Do you want to stop? And I'm like, no, just get it over with. Like, I just want to get out of here, you know. So it was really hard for me to process, and even for like the first like couple years, like I was in huge denial, you know, like when he you know, he moved schools, and like when I seen the different kids, and you know, I'm like, no way, like he doesn't belong here. Like, these kids are, you know, they seem way different than him, like they're more active, you know what I mean. I was like, he doesn't belong here, like this is just wrong. So I was in a really big denial for, I'd say maybe about 2 years, that I was just like, he's fine, like, you know, whatever.
Like it was a misdiagnosis.
Yeah.
But I think that we need to touch a little bit more into that subject, because this is a very important subject. It's the feeling that you get when your child is diagnosed, something that you didn't intend any of it to happen, and that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of things go in your mind, which is like, okay, so because of course they say, well, they explain to you what autism is, and they tell you, well, there's learning disabilities, there's social disabilities,
and it's just the wording that they use that is just like
yeah. And so then that's when you can imagine the pain that you feel at that moment. It's like your son is not what you thought. He's going to have major problems, and he might not function in society. And so that breaks your heart. You think about him having a girlfriend. You think about him going to school with other people. Are they going to pick on him? Will he ever get a job? Will he ever be married? Will he ever have kids? Will he be able to drive? Will he be... Just so many things come to play.
It's like it's kind of weird to say, but it's like your whole future with your child just kind of just like flashes before you. Like, you know, you're thinking about the future, and like, is this gonna happen? Is he gonna do this? Is he gonna do this? Like, what, you know? And it's just like, I think that was overwhelming for me, because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like trying to process what they're telling me, but then I'm like, okay, you know, is he gonna be able to do this? Is he gonna do this? Is he gonna have this? Is he gonna have this? And it's just like, I don't know, it's kind of a weird...
It's like your mind takes off for a second, and you start listening to while you're there talking, you start picturing these things. And so I think that's why, you know, Pam, you know, was overwhelmed by these feelings, but at the same time, not only are you sad about it, you cry about it, but you're mad about it, because you don't want to hear anymore. You don't want to hear what, you know, that they're saying, you know, that this is, you know, something that he has, like he has something, like something is wrong with him. And so us receiving that information and kind of processing, I don't know if you remember when we're sitting there, like we're just kind of sitting there, like afterwards, and we went to the car, and we're just like still, me and Pam really didn't say much to each other, because we didn't know what to say. I don't think that I could have comforted her and she couldn't comfort me, because we were just kind of at a, you know, at a lost basis there, because you think, well, how are we gonna do this now? Raising a kid is as hard as, you know, already, and then what do we have to do now? He has to go to a special school, special class. What does that mean for us as parents? So, you know, and so then that's a whole complete different journey there. We met with the teacher, we met with the aides. We're a little comfortable talking to the teacher. I remember she was really cool.
Yes, I remember her.
She was really cool.
I think that's what made me feel comfortable too, because she and I don't know, I want to say she also had a daughter on the spectrum, So that kind of made me feel comfortable that, okay, like, you have your experience, you've been a special ed teacher for, a very long time. Like, I felt comfort and ease, like, leaving him there,
And what I liked about that is what she said, that he's going to learn at his pace and not as what we're demanding of him. And so she said, I know that he comes from, a private school, and over there they're not trained to do this stuff, and they're not able to handle them, correctly. Like, they don't learn the same, she said. And then she said some nice things, like, your son is very smart. These kids are way, way brighter than we give them credit for. It's just that they learn differently, and they take information differently, and they express information differently. So she was very, like, easing us into what was happening, because, we had no idea, and so she says, I have 2 aides here. They help me with them. So they have one-on-one more than you would have, and that made me feel so much better than where he was at, because there was just one teacher and there was like 30 kids in one class. And here she said we only have 10 to 7 kids in the class, and now so that made me feel a lot better that they were going to spend more time with him and stuff like that. So I don't know, that just kind of made me feel a lot better about the school and switching over and stuff like that.
It did, yeah.
But now I know a lot of you guys are asking, how did this kind of affect our marriage going forth with Noah. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. So I remember with Noah, we're at home, and we're trying to get used to this whole thing, because he would hit himself. He would smack himself really hard. He would smash his head on the floor. He would have these
meltdowns.
Meltdowns. That's what they're called, meltdowns. And me and Pam had clashing of heads because of the way that we wanted to handle the situation. I wanted to handle the situation different, and she wanted to handle the situation different. So I can honestly say that me and Pam were to the point where we're kind of like fed up with each other, kind of, because of the differences of how we wanted to go about with Noah. And but back then, I think we weren't mature enough to understand and handle this situation. And I think that a lot of parents nowadays that have a baby that's on the spectrum, it happens because there's lack of communication and of understanding. And that's why we're trying to tell our story, because we don't want people to make the same mistakes that we made. So now that we're in this part, now we're trying to kind of follow the same kind of teaching methods that they would teach at the school, so we can talk a little bit about that. We started following the methods of the school. We had certain things, certain rewards program. Then we started realizing with me and Pam is that, us fighting and then us not getting along was making the situation worse, because we were stressed out with each other. We were stressed about Noah. So, and
it just wasn't also healthy, for him to be in an environment. I mean, not that we would fight in front of him, but I mean, I'm sure like he could sense like the tension or the frustration that we had with each other. So we that kind of helped us a lot too.
Just doing a lot more research about it, kind of ended up giving us a little more understanding as to how to move forward from it. So we started implementing the things that they would do at school. So that's what kind of helped us with it. And we started understanding, and we started seeing things. But slowly, we also started involving him in sports.
Yeah, he was in sports. He did baseball for
T-ball.
He did T-ball, and then he did the pitcher machine. He did the T-ball for 4 seasons? For 4 seasons, and then he did the pitcher machine for, I think it was 2 seasons.
And you can see how, he was before. Like, he would struggle a lot with understanding what he needed to do in the field. But we thought that if we involved him in, sports, that he would understand and get to communicate with other people, with other kids, because as, Noah was only child, so we wanted to get him, to play with other kids. And so we thought that was a good thing, not only for him, but for us too, to get a break and to kind of not be at home and dealing with Noah, but get him out and trying to have some fun and stuff. Exactly. But we started noticing the kids not wanting to talk to him, not wanting to, because we overheard some of the things that the kids were saying, like, oh, he's weird. Because, like we showed you in the previous video, how he would repeat things and he would, so that was very painful for us as well, because, we want him to fit in, but nobody was accepting him for who he was. Not until a couple seasons in, we got different coaches and different people that were more open to who he was and embracing him, and then also talking to the other kids about him. And I think that was so awesome that they were so, what's the word?
Because I remember I would tell Mondo,
inclusion?
Remember I would tell him, like, on the first day of practice, I think you were working, and I went and I told the coach, I was like, just to let you know, like, he's on the spectrum, and just try to be patient. And he was like, no worries. He's like, I teach kids, I work with, special ed and all that stuff. So I was like, great, because there's somebody who understands. And then I remember before they started practicing, like, he got them all together and Noah was just bouncing around all over the place. And he told them, he had them all introduce themselves, and then Noah didn't quite understand the introduce yourself. So then he was like, this is Noah, and he kind of helped and explained to the kids, like, what exactly what autism was and all that. And they were like really understanding. They were all really patient with Noah. They were they cheered him on. They were very supportive of him, and they would always like, go Noah, like, you can do it, Noah, or, so that was really good to see.
And you know what I liked about the whole thing is that the acceptance of it all.
Yeah, and even with the parents too. Even with the parents, and at first it was like, okay, like, he can't even play. And follow such simple things, and it was like very heartbreaking for me, and for Pam as well. And these are all things that hurt the most, is just like simple instructions, like where, like the question that we're asking, like, what base are you gonna run to? And he didn't know what to answer, and not breaking my heart, because the rest of the kids were like, first base, and so but little by little, Noah started getting it, and I would be by his side every time we played. Of course, or if you weren't there, my dad was there.
But we would walk him through it, and I would stand right next to him. We actually have a picture together of me next to him in the field, and just talking to him in his ear, and just trying to get him to understand. And he loved the part where he had to run. He loved the running part.
And then it was really cool because the coach, because he would get really antsy, like, out on the field. So then the coach got to the point where he had Noah be the catcher, and Noah was really good at that. Noah, he said, I feel like when I would, if I didn't help him sit up, if Mondo wasn't there, my dad was a lot of help with Noah in the baseball stages. Because if I was working, he would take him to practice and all the other stuff. But I remember he told my dad one time, he's like, Papa, he goes, I feel like Iron Man in this. My dad was like,
that's when he started communicating more.
He was like, because he was in school, and the teacher, it was in speech. So at that point he was,
what she's explaining is when he was already a little bit more into the program.
So so he was like, I feel like Iron Man, and he really enjoyed playing catcher. But I think, so that was his last season playing baseball.
But then we started noticing when he was going to school now, we started seeing him.
We started seeing him grow and seeing him advance.
He wasn't hitting himself no more.
Yeah.
Actually, it was funny because we were kind of like, hey, did you notice he's not hitting himself?
Yeah, we did.
But I think we're skipping ahead a little bit, huh? But I just hope it's just so much to tell that I might be skipping some things.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
This is just my opinion. If people have diagnosed, if you have a child with that diagnosis, try your best to get them in an early program. But I don't think the program should be to change them. I think it's to embrace them and help them understand certain things, and that will make them not feel frustrated. That will make them, not be so frustrated with not just receiving information, but also how you react to the information that they're giving you. And so we just started embracing it more and talking more about people. And then we started hearing about, the autism walks that they had here in Bakersfield, and we started getting more involved in that stuff. And I hear a lot of the comment of, well, you don't look autistic, or he doesn't look autistic.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't look like he has autism. And like, that is, don't say that to people.
It's like
Don't say that to people, because that's not, autism doesn't have to look like something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so that's why I think that's not a nice thing to say. I remember a lot of people would say, to Noah, well, he looks normal to me, or well, he looks fine to me. Like, he doesn't look like he has autism. And like, so what does someone that has autism look like? So that was very offensive. But we started to, that's when we started to experience the side
because
of.
not everyone knows, like.
People just categorize the label of autism and then just put everybody under it. We started seeing that other side of parents talking, seeing him different, people talking about Noah behind their backs.
There's been a couple people to message us where they're like, I think that my child, may have autism, and, like, I don't know what to expect, and we're having a meeting, and I don't know what to expect, and, can you, so it's like, it's good. It feels good to be able, to help somebody and to reassure them that it's going to be okay, because I was that mom, like, so many years ago.
Yep.
Like during that time, like, if I tried to vent to a friend, go for comfort, like, I didn't feel like I was getting the answers that I needed from a friend.
It's the same thing that happened to me with my friends. There wasn't that, and we were young, like we said in the video, we were young, so we didn't understand the whole world of any of this. So it definitely it impacted us in a very, negative and positive way, but even now I'm still correcting myself. And again, everybody has the option to see autism as either they have autism or they are autistic, and we choose to say that Noah is autistic and it's who he is. And we're embracing who he is, accepting him for who he is, because what he is what we love about him. Everything that he is what we love about Noah. Him being this way has brought on so much more and have taught us so much things that I don't think I would have it any other way. So that's why we say that Noah is autistic instead of him having something. He is not sick. You know what I'm saying? He is not defected. He is who he is, and we love him for who he is, and we wouldn't have it any other way. Yes, of course, we have these things that we have to teach him differently, but he is who he is, and I think that if he wasn't who he is, he would be boring like me. You know what I'm saying? And then I think that's the thing that they are what light up this family. No, Noah is what lights up this family, and so. That's why we say that. We are proud. Noah is autistic, and we're proud of it. And so we hope that this kind of sheds some light into that. We're gonna end the video now because it's a long video, and if we do, we might do a part 3, and we can just answer some questions that you guys might have that maybe we passed on, because we can go on for a long time talking about Noah, because there's more to tell. But we also don't want to drag on the video. Is what I meant. Drag on the video too much. So I hope you guys learned something from this. Let's do the shout outs for the week, and we'll be right back.
reflection of my tears.
Alright guys, those are the shout outs for the week. If you guys want to get shouted out in our next YouTube video, all you gotta do is
subscribe, turn on post notifications. Oh wait.
yeah.
Okay, wait.
Wow.
Okay.
It's okay. Let's
Subscribe. Okay, ready? 2, 3. Subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a nice comment down below.
That's it. That's all you gotta do. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And remember, you are auspicious. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Got the club going up on Tuesday. Got your girl on the car, she Tuesday. Club going up on Tuesday. Got your girl on the car, she Tuesday. Club going up on Tuesday. Got your girl on the car, she Tuesday.